Now, for the final story of the day, I think this is really interesting, actually. Uh, What's the Dirt is a very popular YouTube channel. They have 375,000 subscribers, but you have to keep in mind that's only with 54 videos. And he is probably the most exciting new channel in hip hop. I'd argue that. I think What's the Dirt is probably the most exciting new channel in hip hop right now. What's the Dirt does breakdowns on beefs. Now, I watched a couple interviews with What's the Dirt. He doesn't believe that he does beef videos only, but his channel's called "What's the Dirt?" Like, what's the dirt? Yeah, right. If we're gonna peruse through his channel here, and then and even if it's more than just beef, his biggest videos are gonna be beef. It's really just a beef channel. It's more than that because it's so well done. He has a very strong knack for research. He digs deep. He's patient. He puts stories together. They come out really well. Right now, I've seen if he has 54 videos on his channel, I think I've seen 50 of them. I'm pretty sure I've seen 50 of them. You know, there's a couple in here like I don't remember. I don't think I've seen. But he's captivated hip hop since this Kendrick and Drake beef started. And he was doing really well before that. But he struck a gold mine in February, maybe January. He dropped this video right here, Drake versus Kendrick Lamar, the 100% full story. He dropped that 8 months ago. End of last year, he dropped that 8 months ago. And once this beef started, once like that dropped in push-ups, that is the go-to for everybody who's interested in this topic to figure out what is going on between the two. Right. So he struck gold on that one. Right. You look at the views on the videos before that. Everything before that, Drake made fun of Joe Budden for this, 14,000 views. Young Dolph Legacy's Real, Heart of Gold, 11,000 views. I don't think this one is a beef video. This might be the only beef video that's not in there. Rappers are defending Eminem hate, 1.4 million, right? Tom McDonald, biggest fraud, 177,000. Bad Beef, Joe Budden versus Gilly the Kid, 156,000. Ugly Beef, DJ Academics versus Freddie Gibbs, 100% Beef Explained, 104,000. Tom McDonald gets brutally exposed, 163,000. How DJ Vlad tried to destroy Joe Budden's life, 232,000, right? You look at these videos, and this is actually really interesting. My favorite video from him doesn't look like it's on here. My favorite video is a video he did on Kid Rock, which I thought was really amazing because he interviewed the first guy that Kid Rock vultured, the DJ that basically brought him to the world, that turned him into a culture vulture. I'm not sure what happened to that video. I might have to ask around about that. I don't see it here. I mean, it says 54 videos, 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, maybe all his videos aren't here. I don't know what's up with the show, but that's the best video. If you find the Kid Rock video from What's the Dirt, that's the best one, right? So either way, he struck the gold mine when he hit Drake versus Kendrick Lamar. It's a fantastic video. All this stuff is fantastic. And since then, there's been so many diss tracks that he's been covering them all. He's been covering all the diss tracks. And people are really impressed with this last one he dropped, 616 in LA, because, you know, he pointed out that Kendrick's rapping like Drake in the beginning. A lot of people were surprised by that. I mean, I knew that factually. I actually got a phone call the day it dropped, somebody close to it. But he points out a lot of illusions that Kendrick is making that only Drake would figure out. I mean, he puts a lot of heart in his videos. He puts a lot of details in his videos. And now they've become a must watch. And his next video up is the Family Matters video. So everyone's waiting for him to break down Family Matters. As you can see, he broke down Euphoria. He broke down Tailor-Made Freestyle. He broke down Push-Ups, right? So, of course, Family Matters is coming next. So he went online, and this is a very, very interesting thing, right? So he went on Twitter to advertise the video, and he made this post. It's a clip of Kendrick Lamar on The Breakfast Club, and they asked him about his relationship with Whitney at the time. They asked him how's it feel being engaged? You know, his answer is like, oh, it's awesome or whatever. What's the Dirt use this to tease the new video that's coming out and to prove to Drake fans that he is objective. You know, he's been going super viral, breaking down Euphoria and 616 in LA, that people think that he's glazing Kendrick. And I'm sure that's uncomfortable because What's the Dirt's from Canada. I think he's in the Vancouver area. There's a great interview with him and Ricky Dredd on We Love Hip Hop Network on YouTube. Check it out if you missed it. I'll put a link in there to that too. It's actually a really good conversation. But he's in Canada, right? So he doesn't want to look like he is just one-sided in this thing. I never took him as being one-sided at all. Like, he looks like somebody, actually, he looks like more of a Drake fan to me, but I've watched enough of his videos. I've watched so many of his videos that I'm just like, the way he talks about him sounds like a dude who likes Drake. He sounds like he's been in battle rap culture. I don't look at him as a culture vulture at all. I think he's a guy who's got a passion for this medium and this art form, and this is the type of videos he puts out for a number of different reasons. Arguably, the biggest one is because people like beef. Like the beef series that Quincy Jones' son did that probably set all this stuff off. This whole visual medium of digging into rap beefs. It's the same thing. It's the train wreck effect. That's it's just human nature gravitates towards that. But I think he does a really great job of it. Okay. And so to tease the Family Matters video, he puts up this post. And this is the first time I've ever had a problem with anything I've seen What the Dirt do. All right. So here's what the post says. I believe in a word called objectivity. I will show the sides of the coin that gets dismissed and unexplored. It's alarming at how easily Kendrick lies. Kendrick lies in this interview. Most would hear this response and say, what a solid guy. In reality, he was already a habitual cheater, etc. Right? He's calling Kendrick a liar. Now, I'm not going to play a clip. It's the Breakfast Club. They're going to flag me. You guys won't be able to see it anyway. But check it out. It's online. But he calls Kendrick a liar about a personal issue between him and his fiance, partner, mother of his children, right? The point of him doing that was because Drake said that he put out the idea that that Kendrick thinks he's a black messiah or people treat him like a black messiah, whatever, right? That was a huge part of the battle. We've talked about that in length. So he's framing this as an example of him lying, which means some of the stuff Drake is saying is true. Now, the Family Matters breakdown isn't out yet, and I can't wait to see it. But he's calling someone a liar through internet research during an interview. It's very difficult to know the nuances of what's happening in personal one-to-one relationships. Very difficult. So whatever proof he has to be wild compelling when this video drops. It has to be because relationships are fluid. I know people who are engaged and they got married and I didn't realize they broke up 3 or 4 times in the middle of that situation. And 2, it's very interesting because Kendrick has basically exposed all of these things in his music over the years. Over the years in general, he's basically done that. So yeah, Drake took aim at that aspect of him in the battle, but it wasn't a surprise to people who listen to Drake, or excuse me, who listen to Kendrick. It's kind of flaccid if a guy's got past his problems, his traumas, became a better person, and told you about it along the way, right? I made a mistake in my Chino XL video. I put a comment on there, posted it. It's embarrassing that I made that mistake, but you have to expose yourself to your audience. I mean, I personally think that owning up to it early makes it easier than owning up to it later. He doesn't call Drake a liar in any of his videos. And I don't remember seeing him calling Drake a liar in any of his, marketing things. But that's a strong thing. So, of course, Kendrick fans, they got on that ass, man. They got on that ass, right? So he got sworn with people who took offense to that. And I think that's actually a fair thing. Like, you're calling him a liar about something. Most of his research comes through internet and digging on its own. The only video that I've seen with him with a firsthand account is the one with Kid Rock that I can't find. And that to me is my favorite one. There's a view in media and journalism now that if you do enough great internet research and put patterns together and put them out there, that is top tier journalism. But what you miss a lot of times is the human impact or the human perspective. Like when I report stuff on this channel, and I'm not comparing myself to What's the Dirt, because I have a totally different mission. I'm not trying to merge any of this stuff, right? I I don't think of myself as what the dirt does, but I've done but I have literally done what the dirt has done, right? I mean, the whole breakdown space came from the breakdowns we were doing at Hip Hop DX. So I understand what this is. But there is a journalistic layer to it where it's one thing to just put stories together through things you find online. It's another thing to have sources, and it's another thing to have sources that you include, you know. And I'm not sure how he puts this together. Maybe he's getting a lot of phone calls and people who are giving him information, and maybe that's what this will turn into. I hope so. But the way I look at it is, yeah, I like to get direct sourcing from people. My favorite thing to do is talk to people close to the people. That's my favorite thing to do. But regardless, there isn't anything, especially in this battle. I don't care if it's Hell's Angels. I don't care. There's nothing in this battle that I've covered. Pretty much, there's nothing of consequence or any consequential conversation that has happened on this channel that I've covered that I haven't talked to somebody. Right. I don't always say I have sources. I always have multiple sources pretty much. That just happens. I happen to be in that ecosystem. So I don't have an uninformed opinion. Almost never. Like sometimes, you know, I mean, no one's perfect. Sometimes you make mistakes. Everyone does that. But when it comes to big stuff like this, I'm, I make sure that I am certain. And truthfully, that's why you don't see me talk a lot about people's personal things. This was to market this upcoming video, and he starts off saying that Kendrick is lying about his relationship with his fiance at this point in time. And that tweet goes on to talk about how he made a whole album about loyalty because the video, the Breakfast Club video that this is attached to, on YouTube it says 2017, but this video is actually an interview for To Pimp a Butterfly, which is 2015. Right. So Kendrick fans jumped on it. Here's the post. You got the dates mistaken, bro. So this post is really misleading. What the Dirt. At this point, this is a quote from What the Dirt, right? At this point, he was promoting an album with entire records exploring themes of loyalty. This interview wasn't even in 2017. It was 2015, the To Pimp a Butterfly era. I looked at that. I looked it up myself because it's tough to tell with the Breakfast Club interview because it says 2017. Maybe they reposted it for some reason. But that conversation was more about life and the way things are going than it was about the album. I skimmed through it when I was getting ready to do this story. I never actually heard them say To Pimp a Butterfly. But when people do press runs in New York, they do all the same shows at the same day. So I went over to Hot 97 to see what their video looked like. And Kendrick's wearing the exact same outfit. And Hot 97 generally talks more about the music than the Breakfast Club does. First question out, what's it like to have this response to Pimp a Butterfly? I hope that calling him a liar and saying he's talking about, I hope that doesn't change this story too much. I hope it doesn't change this story too much, but he called him a liar. Okay, like that is a big thing. He was getting destroyed for this. So, but he was going back and forth with people. He was going back and forth with people for a little while. And here was one of his explanations for that clip, because a lot of people were getting at him because that's strong words to say somebody is lying about their personal relationship with their high school sweetheart who's not a celebrity in the middle of a conversation. This is in quotes. He says, I swear, baby, I only F those white chicks because I'm racist. I did it for my ancestors. It was all for the culture. Don't you understand? I did this for us. Like, come on, man. I talk about this in the breakdown because it really supports Drake's Black Messiah line. It doesn't, though. It doesn't. It really doesn't. Because Kendrick has been upfront about this stuff in his music throughout his whole career. It's literally, I mean, if Kendrick was to be a messiah, messiahs do things like reveal their own contradictions. You know, these are things that bring people closer to Kendrick Lamar. But he's catching all this heat. He's catching so much heat. Okay. Right. So it gets to the point where he takes his account down. He takes his account down because he was getting so much heat. What's the Dirt took his account down. Now, his YouTube is still up. But his Twitter is down. Now, I'm not sure if people there's accusations that people reported his page. I'm not sure what it is. We have a friend in common. I reached out to see what was up. I haven't heard anything as of press time, but here's what he said at the end. And this is where I give What's the Dirt a lot of credit. I give him a lot of credit. He says, honestly, I had this conversation with my little brother last night, and he was very honest in telling me that he thought my tone sounded off on that Kendrick post. I agree. I should have worded it differently. It should have been worded differently. Yeah, I definitely think so. I mean, look, he's taking accountability. That is a big thing. He's taking accountability. That's huge. I respect that. He took this video down, or he took his channel down. He deactivated his profile on Twitter. The thing that stands out to me the most about that original post again is that he says how easily Kendrick lies. And in the clip, you can hear, after he answers the question, in the clip, you can hear Angela Yee say, "Oh, I thought we weren't talking personal stuff." What they're saying is their PR, whoever was taking him around on this press run, told the Breakfast Club that he doesn't want to talk about his personal life. We just watched that with Tyler. Tyler was on the Breakfast Club. Charlamagne asked her about what it means to be colored. Why do you say you're colored, you're not black? Or what's that about? Tyler turned around and looked at her PR. Her PR said, "Yeah, can we please not?" And then Charlamagne said, "Oh, I love it when they do that. I love it when they do that." Charlamagne said that he actually loves it more. When people say there's nothing, they don't want to talk about a certain topic, he goes and talks about it anyway. And so in this situation with Kendrick looks a lot like what I saw with that situation with Tyler, in that Tyler clip that was flying around. And so, Kendrick's answer didn't seem easy to me. It doesn't seem like, I don't know what's going on in their relationship, but he didn't seem like that was an easy thing to get out. And this is private business. You know what I mean? So we will see what Family Matters Breakdown looks like. I'm personally looking forward to it. I like What's the Dirt's channel. But I do think that there is something about this sort of fish tank view in media that's very popular. People are very successful doing it on YouTube, especially when you have like Trap Lord Ross or What's the Dirt, who are very far away from where these things are happening, who are doing incredible research on the internet and piecing things together. And hopefully they have sources. Hopefully they have people calling them. Hopefully they're talking to people that adds to their assessment, even though they don't seem to report that way very often. A lot of times people take pride in not wanting to talk to anyone so they can remain objective, so they can stay in the middle. But you're playing with people's real lives. Academics came up that way. I don't respect that about academics. And I know academics is the biggest guy in media, but I wonder how happy he is a lot. He seems like he's under stress quite a bit. Who knows whether that's true or not. But sitting somewhere else far away from the action, piecing things together on the internet and breaking it down and then advertising the video by saying someone is easily lying about his relationship with his current partner and the mother of his two children, who they've known each other since high school. I can't wait to see what that footage looks like in this episode of Family Matters. I can't wait to see the facts that back this up, because What's the Dirt's been good at that part so far. We'll see what happens. Let me know if you guys watch What's the Dirt. Let me know if you guys were hip to this and if you're looking forward to the Family Matters Breakdown. Also, what do you guys think about this style of media where people sit online and they do all this research and they present it to the world as if these are the facts? I think it's very problematic. And I think there's a lot of people who find that as a means to stay objective. The problem with being objective and not talking to people is that there can be a very big gulf between what's really happening versus what's happening online. And generally those gulfs happen when you start getting into interpersonal relationships. So that's my thoughts on it. Can't wait to see it. Thank you guys for rocking again today. This is the rhythm that I'm on. This is going to be a live show. This is going to move into the live space. I'm going to start doing this something similar live, and I'll interact with my members in a different kind of way. So a lot of these are reps that I'm building. Thank you guys for coming along with me. And if you guys have any feedback, awesome or awful, let me know. My name is Justin Hunt. Like and subscribe to the channel. Follow @TheCompanyMan on everything. So happy.
Justin Hunt is here, it's all happening. Justin Hunt is here, it's all happening. The mathematical breakdown of this mighty game of rap we in. It's boom bapping. Systematical culture views, it's radical, it's all happening. Shaking hands and dabbing it. Life through the lens of hip hop, from trip hop to yes, yes, y'all. You don't stop, you don't stop. Justin Hunt is here, it's all happening. It's all happening, yes, it's all happening. Justin Hunt is here, it's all happening. It's all happening, yes, it's all happening.